Hey everybody, Cinema Sickness here with your daily sickness video, and happy, Friday? TGIF to each and every one of you. Yes, the weekend is here upon us finally, and that is awesome. And not only is it Friday, and not only am I a glow-in-the-dark enthusiast, but I am still sick, so again, I do apologize. I'm sniffing, sneezing, coughing, all that good stuff, sounding all nasally and crappy throughout this video. It is what it is. I still have a cold. I am feeling a little bit better today, so that's awesome, but we'll see how that goes. So hopefully I'll be better by the end of the weekend or something. I don't know. Anyway, let's get down to it. Let's take a look at today's daily sickness video, because then we're going to take a look at some movies I've recently been checking out. We're going to do a review video. The good news is, though, because I know some of you are probably like, oh, review video. But the good news is, though, this is the beginning of the Cinema Sickness Halloween Horrorthon. This is the stuff I've been watching during my Halloween Horrorthon, which is great. Bad news is that, well, not bad news. It's kind of hard to say bad news. I was on vacation in Walt Disney World. There's really nothing bad about that for 2 weeks. But a little bit of negative bad news on that is the fact that that's like 2 weeks I went without watching any horror movies. I didn't watch any movies except for one. There was one movie I watched. That's kind of sad. I'm 2 weeks behind on my movie watching. I got to catch up. So that is a shame. But anyway, the Halloween Horrorthon, the Cinema Sickness Halloween Horrorthon is in full swing. I've been watching some stuff, watched a bunch of stuff before I left for Disney. Watched one title on Disney while I was in Disney. And that's what we're going to take a look at. So very cool. And for those of you who've been joining in on the Halloween Horrorthon, thank you so much. That's awesome. On like Instagram and stuff like that, you guys have been hashtagging Cinema Sickness Halloween Horrorthon 2015. For those of you who've been doing that, very, very cool. I've really been enjoying watching and checking out what you've been watching. So that's very, very cool. Thank you. All right. Anyway, let's get down to it. Let's take a look at what I've checked out recently, like 3 weeks ago. We're going to take a look at everything I watched before I went on my trip to Disney, and we're going to take a look at the one title I watched while on my trip. So, all right, the first title up here was kind of my crossover title. I was doing a Disney marathon. I was kind of planning on doing a Disney marathon all the way up until I went for left for Disney, but the first day of autumn came, and that's usually when I start my Halloween Horrorthon. I was like, I guess I could watch all like Disney Halloween titles, but there's so much stuff. There's so many movies I want to watch. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to, I've watched plenty of Disney. I watched enough. Let's start the Halloween Horrorthon. Let's start watching some horror movies. But I did watch one Disney Halloween movie as kind of a crossover into my Disney Marathon, into my Halloween Horrorthon. And that was a movie you guys said I had to definitely check out, Under Wraps, which is apparently a bit of a rare DVD I have here in my hand. So very, very awesome. You guys were saying I had to check this one out. When I picked it up, you guys were like, oh my God, that's such a good movie. It's such a rare DVD. I had no idea. Very cool. I didn't even know this was a Disney title. It does actually see on the back an association with the Disney Channel, so I probably should have noticed that, but it's tiny. I didn't see that. So you guys I didn't even know, until you guys told me this was a Disney Channel title, I didn't even know. So I had to check this one out. I knew I was going to watch this Halloween Horrorthon, so definitely had to see it. It was a good crossover title, and I loved it. It was great. It was just as good as you guys said. It's, it's got that cheese factor. It's got that, like, late 90s, made-for-TV, Disney Channel, kids movie cheese factor. But it's fun. It's just a movie made for kind of, like, maybe, like, early teen / pre-teens kind of movie. It's definitely a good movie. These kids find this mummy, it comes to life, and they befriend it, they're trying to protect it, because of course there's people out to get him, and they want to put him and the kids are trying to put him to rest. It's a fun movie. I would say if you like things like Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark, you're probably going to enjoy this. I wouldn't say this is as cheesy as Goosebumps or Are You Afraid of the Dark. It's not quite to that level, but maybe you like things like Halloween Town and stuff like that, you're probably going to enjoy this. So I would definitely recommend checking it out. It was a fun Disney Channel movie. Definitely one to see. I love these like late 90s Disney movies. Like what's with what is with like the young kids talking about like sex and stuff and like late 90s Disney movies? I mean, in this one, we get to find out this girl here sleeps in the nude. She's like 13. I don't even know that. And like all the talk about like virgins and stuff in Hocus Pocus. Like, what's up with that, Disney? What's up with all your sex talk with your like little teenage kids sex talk in movies? I don't understand that. In like it was only in like late 90s. I don't remember them doing that before or after. Just kind of like the late 90s. I don't know, but it is what it is. Anyway, this is a fun movie. Check it out, Under Wraps, very cool. With that being said, apparently this is a bit of a rare DVD. This is out of print. Are you gonna be able to find this? If you do, pick it up. Not only is it good, but it's a bit rare. So if you come across a copy of this, definitely grab it. Because like I said, not only is it good, you should definitely see it. Add to your Disney collection. But it's a bit rare too, so you might want to get it for that reason alone. All right. So then I decided to do a little screaming, and I checked out, 6 different Scream movies here. First thing I watched was the Scream 5-film set, which includes Scream, Scream 2, Scream 3, Still Screaming, Scream the Inside Story, and then I did watch Scriptorum here. I know, it's Scream 4. I call it Scriptorum. So I did check all those out, and first thing I checked out was Still Screaming and Scream the Inside Story. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I gotta remember which one's which. I believe Scream the Inside Story, that was the one that focused mainly on Scream, the first movie, Scream. It was an hour-and-a-half documentary all about that movie, and then Still Screaming, the Ultimate Scary Movie Retrospective, that was another hour-and-a-half documentary all about the Scream series. Both definitely worth checking out. If you like the Scream series, or even just the first movie, and you like the Scream movies, and you're a fan of documentaries, it is definitely one, or they're both definitely ones worth seeing. They were great documentaries, very in-depth, very well done. Definitely see them. I love them. I'll be watching them again for sure. All right. So after I watched both those, then I was like, well, I've seen Scream like a dozen times, but it's been a while. And Scream 2, 3, and 4, I've seen like once. So screw it. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to watch all 4 movies back to back. So Scream, I still like it. It's still a fun movie. It's a different type of slasher movie. It's a self-aware slasher movie. It's made for slasher fans. I still don't think the movie's anything amazing. A lot of people seem to really, really like the movie. I just think it's okay. I'm not blown away by Scream, but I do enjoy it. I would definitely say it's worth checking out if you like slasher movies, you like horror movies. It is worth seeing. It's a fun movie, but it doesn't blow me away. I don't think it's anything like mind-blowingly fantastic as some people do, but I do enjoy it. Scream is definitely one we're checking out. All right, so Scream 2, 3, and 4 are, again, Scriptorum here. I'd only seen them once a piece, and I saw Scriptorum in the theater, and I really couldn't remember anything about any of the movies. Even though I had just seen this one, in 2011 when it came out, I really couldn't remember anything about any of those 3 movies. They were all complete blank in my head. I couldn't remember what happened in any of them. And I didn't know if that was just because it is what it is, or did I not like them and I just kind of forgot about them. Turns out I just kind of forgot about them because I didn't like them. They're not very good movies. I don't want to spoil them, so I won't tell you who the killers are in the movie. But one of my main problems with the movies is the motives for the killers. It's just kind of like, Which, don't get me wrong, the killers in the first movie, their motive was kind of sort of lame as well, but it kind of worked at the same time. So it was kind of lame, but it worked, so it wasn't all that bad. But the motives of the killers in 2, 3, and 4, it's just kind of like, oh, really, like that? You're the killer? All right, that's your motive. Okay, it just seemed stupid. I don't know where they really could have went with the sequels. They were just cash-ins. I don't think Scream really warranted a sequel because of the type of movie it was. I mean, maybe they could have done something a little differently. I don't know, or brought back a character from the first movie as a killer or something like that. Maybe I don't know what they could have done, but in the end, the sequels are just kind of bland in my opinion. They're not all that good. They're somewhat boring. They're somewhat stale. Again, I don't like who you find out the killer is in the end of each one of them. It is what it is. I want to see, I'm more into something supernatural, like Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers or Freddy Krueger, who's just always popping up and he's this character who just comes after you. That's kind of fun. But in this one, to have Ghostface, is an actual person going out to kill Neve Campbell, it's just, it just kind of makes it and the motives are just kind of lame. So I would not necessarily recommend Scream 2, 3, and 4. I would say, though, if they're movies you want to check out, if you're thinking to yourself, I kind of want to see them, they're not horrible, so check them out. I would say if you've seen Scream and you're like, well, I kind of want to see 2, 3, and 4, then see them. They're not horrible, god-awful movies. I'm not trying to say that. They're by no means the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. They're watchable. Check them out if you want to see them. I'm just trying to say they're nothing you need to see because they're really not all that good in my opinion. Now, some of you guys, when I was saying I was watching them, some of you guys said you really liked 2, 3, and a lot of you guys said you liked 4 a lot. So, Scriptorum here seems to be a big one for you guys. A lot of you guys seem to like that one. Me personally, I just think the movies are just okay. Again, I'm not even blown away by Scream. I just think Scream's pretty decent. It's a fun movie. It is one I'd say worth checking out if you're a horror or slasher fan. But 2, 3, and 4. only worth checking out if you really want to see them. Otherwise, you don't need to, because I just thought they're just kind of mediocre. So, anyway, caught up on Scream, so that's good. All right, so the next title I checked out here is one I can't physically hold up and show you, as I watched my ultraviolet digital copy of, and that is Lost Souls: The Doomed Journey of Richard Stanley's Island of Dr. Moreau, which was an absolutely fantastic documentary. One of the best documentaries on filmmaking I've ever seen. Now, for those of you who do not know, The Island of Dr. Moreau, the movie from like 1990 something or another, horrible. By far one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And it's very rare that I watch a movie and I'm like, wow, I am officially watching a train wreck of a film here. It's very rare that happens. I watch bad movies all the time. And you know, I watch a bad movie and go, okay, that was bad, but whatever. But every now and then I watch a movie and go, wow, that was bad. Like, to the point where I'm just like, even I'm taken back. Like, as many bad movies as I watch, even I'm taken back by how bad it was. And The Island of Dr. Moreau definitely fits that bill. It was a train wreck from the beginning. Like, it just, there was, you know, Richard Stanley, you know, he was going to make this great movie, this great rendition of The Island of Dr. Moreau. He had all these great ideas. He had this great movie. It seemed like he was really into it. He was going to make this movie, and just everything went wrong, from just production, writing, just getting it made, where they shot it. The actors were a huge issue. It's just like everything just like came crumbling down, and he ended up getting basically booted and not having anything to do with the movie anymore. So of course, New Line had put all this money into it. They put all this money into the actors, the sets, all this stuff. They put all this money in, like, everything into the production. It was you know, to the point where New Line was like, well, let's just do the movie. And they probably shouldn't have. They should have just scrapped it. They should just walked away, said, you know what, we lost a bunch of money. It is what it is, because it ended up becoming this huge, horrible ordeal to get this film made. And the film ended up just being garbage in the long run anyway, and just bad movie. But it's a lot of fun to watch, because it just goes to show you how bad things can go while making a movie. I mean, I've seen documentaries about filmmaking where things kind of go bad on the set and whatnot. Things don't necessarily go all that well. But I've never seen a documentary where, like, everything is wrong. Like, nothing went right with the making of this film. Like, I'm surprised everybody didn't, like, catch some horrible disease or something like that. I mean, just everything went wrong. It's very interesting to watch. So definitely check it out. If you just like documentaries in general, it's one to see. If you're into filmmaking, it's one to see. Definitely watch Lost Souls: The Doomed Journey of Richard Stanley's Island of Dr. Moreau. It was fantastic. Again, one of the best documentaries I've ever seen, especially on the topic of filmmaking. See it. So anyway, since I watched a documentary about a film that Richard Stanley did not get to make, I decided to watch one he did get to make, Hardware, written and directed by Richard Stanley. They did mention this a little bit in the documentary, and it was one I had, and when I wanted to check out, so I figured, let's watch a movie he actually did do. And it was okay. I like the setting, the post-apocalyptic setting, like in the future. I like that. I liked the special effects. It's a killer robot movie. I thought that was fun. There's a lot of good, like, practical special effects in this movie. That was all great. My issue with the movie is the story. Just kind of bland. This guy brings home the head of, like, this defunct robot for his girlfriend, who's a sculptor, and the head's, like, still alive and, like, constructs the body and stuff like that, and comes after him to kill him. And the whole movie is like them in this apartment being not even hunted down, but trying to be killed by this robot, which could have been interesting had they been, like, you know, being hunted down by this robot, like, through the city or something like that. They get all the kinds of situations and meet some new people along the way. Something like that could have been interesting. That would have been neat. They're in the apartment, like, the whole time. It's like there's like 3 sets in this entire movie. That's my issue with the movies. The story just kind of went nowhere. It's kind of just like, guy brings home a head of a robot, it builds a body, and now he's have to kill him, and we're going to be stuck in the apartment for like an hour and a half now, watching a robot try to kill these people. That was my issue. It just didn't really go anywhere. The story was just very bland. But it was still a fun movie, so would I recommend checking it out? If it's something you want to see, yeah, I would say at least see it once. Will I watch this movie ever again? Probably not, at least no time soon anyway. But again, if it's something you've been thinking about checking out, if you want to see this movie, then I would say see it. It was fun, but again, it had good special effects. I like the setting and everything like that. It's just the story was just kind of kind of weak. But hardware, it was okay, not too bad. Then I watched another movie that I cannot physically hold up and show you, as I only have a digital copy of it, and that is Hellbenders, which is a really fun horror comedy. And if you guys like horror comedies, Hellbenders is definitely one to watch. All about these priests who are basically priests to sin. And their main reason for that is because they perform these exorcisms, and apparently, if they come across a demon who is so bad, so horrible, that and they can't bring it back to hell, they have to kill themselves. Basically, bring the demon into them and kill themselves and go to hell. So they constantly sin. They're always keeping up their sins. Adultery and drinking and drugs and doing all kinds of horrible bad things for the sake of being able to go to hell if in the end they have to. So they're kind of bad priests, but bad priests for a reason. They're performing these exorcisms and getting rid of demons on Earth. And again, if they absolutely have to, killing themselves and going to hell to bring the demon with them back to hell. So, interesting plot. But of course, the church kind of frowns upon them, and they end up coming down on them and want to disband them. And they know that's a bad idea, because who's gonna perform these exorcisms? Who's gonna save the world and stuff like that? So, these are the only people who do this stuff. They need to be there, but the church wants to put a stop to them. But there's this ultimate horrible demon who comes, and we've been hearing about him throughout the movie, and he ends up coming to basically take over the world, and they gotta put a stop to him. And of course, the church kind of witnesses this all firsthand, and in the end, they're okay to stay around because apparently what they do, it works. So, great movie. It's very funny, great story. I loved it. It was very, very, very good. Again, if you're a fan of horror comedies, Hellbenders, definitely one to check out. I would have to say, definitely see it. All right, and then the last title we have here is the one and only title I watched on my actual Walt Disney World trip. I got home from the park one night at 10 o'clock, because I think the park's the latest park open that night was 9. So I got home at a decent time, figured gonna watch a movie, and I watched my digital copy, but I have my physical copy here to show you, and that is It Follows. So I really wanted to check this movie out because a lot of you guys said it was good. I had been hearing so many good things online about this. This movie got a huge buzz, and I really wanted to see, did it live up to all the hype? And it does. It's an interesting movie. It was different. I liked it. It was all about this movie, all about the story of this thing that follows you wherever you go. That's the main thing, and you can pass it along to another person by having sex with them. So if I got this horrible thing following me, I have sex with somebody, and then it follows them, and then they can pass on, so on and so forth. The little twist is, though, let's say I have this thing following me, I have sex with somebody, it follows them, but it gets them, it kills them, it catches up to them, then it comes back on me again. So basically, if you get rid of this thing by passing it along by having sex, you still need to be looking over your shoulder all the time, because at any moment it could come back after you, unless you're keeping tabs on everybody else who it's been passed on down the line. Unless you're keeping tabs on those people, you got to be looking over your shoulder for the rest of your life, because if it kills any of those guys and it comes back to you, it could be chasing after you again. And it's really interesting. I like how this thing it just walks. So you can run, you can drive, you can fly somewhere, and it just walks after you. So you can bide yourself time, but it will, I'm getting kind of chills even thinking about it. It's kind of creepy, but it will catch up to you eventually. It will walk to wherever you are. No matter where you are, it will find you. It will get to you. You were there. It's going to come after you, and of course, it's going to kill you. Such an interesting story, and it's all about this guy who passes along to this girl. He basically tricks her into thinking he really likes her, blah blah. And they end up having sex, and he kind of does it to pass this along to her. But he does it in an interesting way, because he has sex with her, and then he knocks her out, and puts her in this wheelchair and basically says, like, look, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not trying to rape you. I'm not trying to do anything. I want to prove to you this thing's after you. So, and he kind of has to do that because if he didn't warn her, if he didn't say, look, there's this thing after you, and look, see, here it is. I got to prove to you this thing's after you. She would have been killed. It would have just came after her and she'd be like, oh, what's going on? Dead. And then it would have came back after him. So he needed to prove to her this thing was real and that she needed to stay away from it. And it's such an interesting movie. It's different. It's something I've never seen before. It stands out. It was such a good watch. And just to watch this thing come after this girl and her friends are trying to help her and they're trying to figure out how to get rid of it and whatnot. It was awesome. So definitely check It Follows out. If you've been hearing a lot of buzz, a lot of hype on this movie, everybody's been saying it's so good, you got to see it. They are right. This was a really good one. I'll be watching this one over and over and over again throughout the years. Definitely a great movie. Again, it's something different. That's what I really like about it as well. It's not the same type of like killer or something like that over and over and over again. It's something different, something I've really never seen before, at least not in like this way. So It Follows. One to check out, a fantastic horror movie. Best horror movie in over a decade, according to Rolling Stone. Possibly. I might have to agree with them. It was great. See It Follows. It was fantastic. All right, guys, there you go. That's everything that I watched before going to Walt Disney and the one time I watched while at Walt Disney World. I have watched a little bit of like 3 titles since I've been back. We'll take a look at those like next week or something like that. So, all right, there you go. That's it. So, pretty much recommend everything. I mean, definitely Unwrapped was really good. If I'm sorry, did I say Unwrapped? Under Wraps. How many times have I said? I hope I didn't say that like throughout the video. I probably did. Under Wraps, not Unwrapped. I'm thinking of the awesome Mark Summers TV show from Food Network. Under Wraps. I hope I said that when I was talking about this movie. I might not have. Oh well, not gonna redo this video. So, Under Wraps, check this movie out. It was great. Again, with the Scream movies, the 2 documentaries, see them. They were great. If you just love great documentaries, especially about horror movies, see them. Scream, enjoyable movie. 2, 3, and 4, I'm not a big fan of. Lost Souls, The Doom Journey of Richard Stanley's Island Dr. Moreau. Fantastic. One of the best filmmaking documentaries I've ever seen. See it. It was great. Hardware, again, it was okay. If you want to see it. I wasn't blown away by it, but it was all right. It wasn't bad. Hellbenders, very funny, very awesome, very well done. Horror comedy, see it. It was great. And It Follows, a must-see. I'd say about everything here. The 2 titles, I would say Lost Souls, The Doom Journey of Richard Stanley's Island Dr. Moreau, and It Follows are the 2 must-sees out of all this stuff. See both those movies. They're fantastic, and this movie was so good. Great horror movie. So, all right, there you go. That's it. So, all right, I'm done. So, I'm so sick. I can either stop this video and go lie down, eat something, watch a movie. So, all right, guys, that's it. So like I always say, thank you guys so much for checking this video out. Be sure to hit that like button. Also, if you want to see a brand new video from me every single day, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And also, if you're not already over at cinemasickness.com, if you're watching us on YouTube, there's a link down below to cinemasickness.com. Click on it. Head over there, check it out. There's a lot more to see there than just these videos. Definitely head over there, check it out. And again, guys, if you're watching horror movies right now, and you're on Instagram and stuff like that, definitely hashtag your horror movies with Cinema Sickness Halloween Horrorthon 2015 so everybody can keep tabs on what you're checking out. And for those of you who've already been joining in, again, thank you. It's awesome. I'm enjoying seeing what you've been watching. So, all right, that's it, guys. Have a great Friday. I love it. It's Friday. Awesome. And I'll see you tomorrow on Saturday. See you then, guys. Bye.